Explore gardens beneath the sea, learn what it's like to raise a seal pup, and discover how an autistic girl who loved cows changed the world. These are just a few of the experiences you'll find in the pages of award-winning science books. Traditionally, there hasn't been a lot of non-textbook reading in the science class, or nonfiction science reading in the English class. But things are changing, with the Common Core standards calling for more nonfiction reading, and with the next generation science standards calling for science to be taught more in context and not in a vacuum. You can satisfy both of these needs with science trade books, articles, newspapers, and even websites. Maria Sosa is Senior Project Director and Editor of the review journal SBNF, or Science Books and Films.
Putting things into a story context is very helpful for some kids to actually understand and learn the concepts of science. But another reason is because they often are focused on just one topic. And through that topic, you can generalize to larger ideas, for example, systems or models. And all of this has been very helpful rather than the standard textbook approach, because let's face it, kids do read in the science classroom, but sometimes what we ask them to read are things that are not that interesting to them.
In partnership with Science Netlinks, Sosa and her SBNF staff administer the Subaru Book Awards, honoring the top science books in a variety of categories. Science Netlinks then posts lessons that help teachers incorporate the books into their classrooms.
We have, for example, science picture books as one category, and so we've developed lessons for K-3 based on the winning books. The other category is middle school readers, so we have books for middle school students that are a little more in depth than the science picture books, but they provide an opportunity for kids to do research projects or to read in class or independent reading. We also have hands-on science books, and for those we try to develop lessons that will allow kids to do inquiry on their own. We try not to make it like a substitute for a lab in the class, but we try to find books that are not cookie cutter, books that don't give the answers, books that engage children's curiosity. And then part of it also is that we have kids report back, which is another important communication skill both in science and in the Common Core.
Many of the winning authors are scientists themselves writing about their own research. For example, Terry Williams is a marine biologist and wrote the book The Odyssey of KP2, an orphan seal and a marine biologist's fight to save a species.
The book comes across as in the moment, and that there is a lot of passion there. The people working to do this science are absolutely dedicated, whether it's me or the trainers involved or all the volunteer students that work at Long Marine Lab to make this science happen, because we knew if we could do this, we could save this species.
For high school students, the lessons focus on independent reading and include reading logs that key in on key science topics that are tied to the science standards.
And for example, one of the books that we have written a lesson plan on is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks by Rebecca Skloot, which is a beautiful example of literature as well as science. And so we think that reading these kinds of books that are selected particularly to appeal to high school students, but that cover real and important science, is a very good way to have high school teachers integrated with whatever the lessons that they're doing, because students can do it on their own, and then yet you can have rich discussions about it in the classroom.
Dr. Shirley Malcolm is head of the AAAS Directorate for Education and Human Resources Programs. She says that bringing science into the English classroom and English into the science classroom benefits everyone.
It's okay for me that, in fact, the teachers are challenged to deal outside of their area. We don't necessarily expect the science teacher to be an English teacher. However, when I was a high school biology teacher, I did impress upon my students that every class was an English class.
She says that a holistic approach doesn't diminish these subjects, it actually adds to their richness.
There is an opportunity to really reach in and talk about this vast storehouse of knowledge that we have gained over the years, even as we began to understand the processes by which science continues to explore the boundaries of space or the depths of the ocean, and helped us to become much more fully engaged with the world.
And if you'd like to become more fully engaged in this discussion, check out the All About Science group at thinkfinity.org. A accompanying this video, you'll find a listing for all of the Subaru Book Award books, along with lessons to help you incorporate them into the classroom. For AAAS and Science Netlinks, I'm Bob Hirschon.